Where to go? Should I stop right here? Right here? The stars. That's fast.
Oh, you want to get mommy? Huh? Do you want to get mommy? It's mommy at the door. No? Why not?
Hey, Jonas.
Why are you back now? It's always school.
Oh, honey, I have to do this school thing. Remember I told you when I'm all done, it's going to help us with the rest of our life and our world because I'm going to have this degree. No hug.
Oh, come on.
Well, give me a hug. Jonas, I haven't seen you all day.
I am a mother of an almost 2-year-old, Montana. She'll be 2 in May. And we have another little one on the way who is also due in May during finals week, which is really exciting. So how do I make it work? It's been tough, especially at the beginning of the program when the baby was just born, trying to make everything work, trying to manage time. I was working on campus, only have half-day daycare, and then a husband who's working all the way across town. It was very difficult.
My family, this is Case, the big old dog that doesn't realize how big he is, and I'll let the rest of my family introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jonas.
And I'm Ralph.
My life as being a student and a mother and a wife. I wear a lot of hats, and sometimes it's hard to keep all those hats straight or to know which hat I'm supposed to be wearing at any given time. I think the main challenges with being a student and a parent and a wife is time management and priorities. Everything should be my number one priority. My husband should be my number one priority. My child should be my number one priority. My school should be my number one priority. And so these are these conflicting and battling masters. I serve a lot of masters. That's, I think, is my dilemma. And so I want to be able to be present for my child, and I can't always be at basketball games or the soccer practices or be able to volunteer in the classroom because I have work. I have work with my school. I have work with my job. You know, and that's challenging. I can't always be here to make dinner or to keep the house clean. I don't want to suggest that that is the wife's job. So Ralph makes dinner on the nights that I have class, whether I'm teaching a class or I'm in a class. He's the one that picks up Jonas from school. He gets him snack. He takes him to soccer, basketball, tennis, snowboarding, whatever practice he happens to have, and then he makes dinner. But he has his own stuff.
The hardest part for me was studying for my comprehensive exams because that was so intense and it was months worth of studying where I felt like all the burden was on my husband. I would come home from school and I would study and I wouldn't make dinner, and he'd come home from working a full day and he would have to make dinner and play with my daughter and I would be studying, and that's when I guess it was overwhelming because I felt like I wasn't doing my duty as like taking care of the house and taking care of my daughter, and I really wanted to do well and he knew how well that I wanted to do.
There have been times where I have felt this is too much and it's time to end it. And what I mean by it is the academic program. I cannot and will not give up on my child or my marriage. So if I'm going to give up on anything, it's going to be the school. But then I can't do that. I have to keep going because all of this time leading up to it would have been a waste. It's scary because I'm not done yet, and what I have left to do is a lot of work. I don't want to take any more time away from my son's growing up. And it hurts me when I have to miss practices. It hurts me when I cannot be there for him. It hurts me when I come home and there's dinner on the table. I should feel happy, but I feel like I'm not doing my job. I simultaneously feel guilty, when my husband supports me through picking up our child from school, taking him to rehearsals and practices and cooking dinner and going to the grocery store and all of that.
I feel guilty that he is doing all this extra work that he shouldn't have to do. I feel guilty that he's the one doing the chores around the house and he's the one making the dinners and I should be contributing. So at times I just feel overwhelmed with guilt that I'm not helping and that he deserves to have somebody who is a 50-50 part. And I tell him this all the time, that this could have really torn us apart, and if he wasn't the kind of person that he was, then we wouldn't have made it this far. He comes home from working an 8-hour day and he makes dinner. He plans out all our meals for the week. He watches the baby. He comes home from work early if I need him to, and I don't know what I would have done if he wasn't so supportive. There have been times where I felt like there's no point for me to be in this program. I should go back to teaching, making money, and he is the one that is encouraging me. He knows how important this is to me, and he is not going to let me stop.
I wish that my mom's program was over, because she's always coming back late. And sometimes even when we come back from him teaching people tennis, when we come back, she's not there, and that's 8:30, 9 o'clock.
My husband understands. Ralph gets it. Ralph gets that this is something that is going to be beneficial for everyone in this family. He says quite often, this is an investment in all of us. And this time now where he's doing more, that's going to even out.
What keeps me going is that I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I see a life that we can have together when the PhD program